Hi everybody, welcome to January's video course report. Slightly different this month. We're doing it from inside the shed because the weather's so bad outside. You wouldn't be able to hear what I'm saying with the wind. But I'd like to kick off with wishing everyone a Happy New Year. And I'm just going to quickly run through the course report and to update you of what's going on. So today is January the 5th, quite a sombre morning. I've just finished collecting all the markers and the flags and de-golf course in a golf course, unfortunately, as we have just started our national lockdown 3.0. We'll be closed for a couple of months by looking at it. Positives on that is it's at the crappiest time of the year weather-wise anyway. The golf course is very wet at the minute. In December we received nearly 95 mil of rain, and our total annual rainfall, which was over 600 mil, we received 45% of that in the last 3 months of the year. So it's a wet winter, so the golf course being closed, although it's not ideal, sort of does us a little favour really. So January started off just as wet, really. We had a couple of dry days there at the end of December, early January, but the last 2 days has been horrendous, and the golf course is very wet. So we've got to take the positives out of it. Lockdown's not in the summer like last time, so hopefully when we do reopen, the golf course will be good. So that's the weather side of it. So the golf course itself, obviously the greens, we've got our 5 wet greens, which are obviously holding water like they do every year. 8's particularly bad this year. It's been on temporary for a while, but the rest of them pretty firm and pretty good. As I've mentioned in the course report last month, disease pressure has been high. It's only recently turned cold, so it's quite mild for most of December, and obviously with it being wet as well, that increases disease pressure. We have got a bit of disease out there called fusarium. Mainly on the 11th and the 9th greens have copped it. They're the worst two. Some of them haven't got any on there at all. It's died back a little bit. It is frustrating. Especially on 9, you might get a few scars, which we'll have to put right in the spring when we do maintenance week. But on the whole, the greens aren't too bad. Growth's obviously slowed down now, and you know, I'm quite pleased considering the conditions and the weather. I'm quite pleased with the greens at the minute, but it's winter and they are always a little bit worse. So that's the greens. The rest of the golf course, tees, approaches, fairways, obviously at the minute wet, holding water. Growth is minimal. A few worm casts kicking around like we always get on the odd tee, the odd approach. But they're pretty standard for December, January time, so I'm not too bothered about them at the minute. You know, they're doing all right. I'm just a bit wet. It's that time of year we don't really do much to them. We might get a bit of pecking now we're on lockdown. Obviously, golfers not walking around is not frightening the birds off, so we will get a bit of pecking on fairways. But as last year, once we start mowing and start getting the growth back, they'll all come back and they'll all be fine. And the fact the golf course is closed, obviously walkways and things like that will all get that nice little rest that they need, and they'll all recover too. So the rest of the golf course is pretty good nick. Bunkers full of water. They've been GUR for a while because of the wet weather, and again we'll put them back in the spring or when we reopen, before we reopen, weather permitting. So I've got no concerns with any other area of the golf course at the minute. It's all good. It's just where it should be really for the time of year. The other areas of the course report that I'd like to talk about is winter works. Very stop-start this year with the weather and lockdowns and things like that. But the short game area still too wet to get onto. As soon as we can, we'll get back over there. It's only actually a couple of weeks away from being seeded, although it don't look like it at the minute, but it is all about there. All the yard work that we've done just before Christmas, lads worked really hard to get that finished, and I'm pleased with that. There's a few little snaggy jobs we've got to do on that. And on the golf course itself, 12th tee we need to look at soon, to get that going soon. So that's ready for the spring, and the 14th tee, whether we actually even start that one because of the situation, not too sure. But that's the winter work update. So in summary, other than it being wet and horrible, the golf course is about where we expect it to be. It's closed due to lockdown, which has its benefits. It's going to get a nice rest through the wettest part of the year, and hopefully by the time we reopen, it's in good nick. The weather's changed and everyone's happy. Whatever your views are on lockdown, it is difficult. You know, it's hopefully by having it now, it gives us the spring and the summer that we all want. So, Happy New Year, everyone. If you've liked this video, please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends and your family. It's good to get it out there so everyone can see it and put sheerness out there, really. But so I'll see you all next time.